Hi, welcome to Shakti Real Talk. My name is Deepa. I'm the founder and CEO of Journeys, a platform that brings organizations together to act as one. Um, with the South Asian community in general, with the Indian community right now, the only thing that we have that we are concerned about, that we're worried about at this point of time, is the COVID situation in India. As you know, we can see images in social media, news, and when we talk to our family back in India, we can see what's going on. And this is something that is so tragic that is causing us, all of us, to stop and figure out how we can help. We're getting a lot of campaigns. We're getting a lot of options in social media for fundraisers. And one of the questions that we are getting asked quite a bit is, where do we fund, who do we fund, how do we know that the money that we are funding is going to the right causes, to the right places, etc. So I have with me an organization called ACOM Foundation in India. ACOM is a NGO in India. ACOM is also a Journeys customer. And we have Neelima Reddy, who is from ACOM USA, and we have Kiran Morris, who's from ACOM India. And we are going to ask a few questions here, simple questions that we get asked quite a bit, and we are asking ourselves and hoping that we can get answers for some of these questions. Welcome, Nilima. Welcome, Kiran.
Thank you. Thank you, Deepa.
Thank you.
So, Kiran, let me start with you. What is the situation right now in India? You know, in the about 2 weeks ago, this was not in anybody's radar, but right now we can see that the situation is really bad in India. Can you give us a little bit of a feel for what you guys are going through with the situation in India?
Thanks, Deepa, for having us here. Actually, if you look at the COVID wave one situation back in September 2020, the numbers we were talking, the peak numbers we were talking about 98,000 infections every day, and right now it has hit, I would say, in 400,000. So it's 4 times more. That is one perspective of numbers. The second thing is, this whole infection has happened over a period of 3 weeks.
Mm.
So the million infection, I think we reached a million infection last time over 246 days, and here we hit this million infection was hit in 19 days. So it was there was no time to react, and the numbers were huge, and the numbers are still growing. So that is one scenario you have. The second scenario is that the Indian healthcare infrastructure is not so great, and it cannot handle. I think it's common all across the world. The healthcare setup is not to handle such a massive inrush of people, especially on one aspect, right? So this is another major aspect. That one aspect here is maybe two rather, is one is the oxygen that we people need because of the pandemic, the nature of the diseases, and also remdesivir and these kind of injections which can probably help people. So there has been a significant stress on these. The second aspect is that the healthcare workers, right? So because of the infection, you cannot have a whole lot of volunteers coming in supporting the whole healthcare system, because people are scared, people are worried as well. So so there is always there's a kind of stress on these aspects, and which is causing a lot of issues in India right now. It's still going on, and I'm actually really thankful, and also it's very overwhelming to see every quarters of the section of the society around the world coming back, supporting. It could be governments, it could be organizations, it could be people, it could be companies. It's amazing, and we actually in India, we can say that very thankful for everybody who is kind of empathizing with this situation, trying to do something. And it's actually we kind of work almost 24/7, and we see WhatsApps being crammed with "Where may I help you?" I think that we see that everywhere, that may I help you. And sometimes we are helpless because the whole the topics of help is somebody wants a plasma, somebody wants oxygen, somebody wants in ventilators, all of that. Sometimes you are really helpless in this situation, but seeing that empathy and the care that everyone in the world is giving, it's really inspiring, and I'm sure we will win this war.
Absolutely. And I think that is everybody wants to help. And I think people are trying to figure out how, right? One way that we know will help is by sending money. ACOM is uniquely situated. So ACOM was founded by Dr. Sai, and Dr. Neelima is the founder in the US. So ACOM is uniquely situated in the sense that you guys have a lot of relationship with hospitals, right? You work with the government infrastructure. So you're not doing things independently. You work with the government infrastructure. So you have relationships with a lot of hospitals, etc. So what are the kind of requirements and needs that you're fulfilling for these hospitals?
Right. Just to add, Deepa, to what you said, ACOM is completely focused on the underprivileged section. And the second aspect is how do we connect with very well established infrastructure like the government and all. So we do not want to create things on our own. We try to integrate whatever is there and kind of fix the gap in that. So we work with the communities, we work with the people, and we work with the communities who provide these services. So that way we kind of bridge the gap. Right now, to answer your question, we could see there are two major areas. One is immediate things to react, which is trying to help the medical facilities to reduce the stress. That involves oxygen, involves ventilators, involves beds, involves the I would say material to avoid infection, medicines, all of that. So that is one of the major aspects, and also including staff. So we are trying to find staff who are kind of trained nurses, paramedical staff to support, and also trying to recruit volunteers who can support. So it's on one of the facility side and the medical thing. And the second thing also is a very important part. India is, we have about 25% of the population who are under the below poverty line. And last 3 weeks, I don't want to say just last 3 weeks, the entire last 1 year has been a significant stress on this section of the society where their entire reserves have been dried up, and there is no way for them to access credit or anything. And whenever these lockdowns happen, they are the first one to hit, and there is a significant hunger there. They are not able to access healthcare, proper healthcare, all of that. So we are, as ACOM, we work with these communities, and we always want to make kind of create this sustainable well-being in these communities. So we are looking at supporting this section of the society with food kits, with sanitation equipment, with some medical equipment, and also most important part, there are some section of the society who cannot access. There is a normal healthcare requirement right now also, right? Pregnant women, women who have delivered babies, all of that. So there is a normal requirement of healthcare. So we kind of provide that also. We're focusing on that as well.
Gotcha. So you talked about two things, right? You talked about the immediate needs, which is we see this whole thing about Help India Breathe, the whole oxygen aspect of it. And the second part is the underlying underprivileged folks who are already under stress, right? So with respect, let's talk about oxygen, because that is what is in everybody's mind at this point of time. How are you able to get oxygen? I mean, what are you doing with oxygen? Let's start with that.
Yeah, Deepa, there are significant number of people working on oxygen. The government is kind of looking at various different ways to divert, because oxygen is used in many different applications. So they're right now trying to completely divert the oxygen to medical use. There are a lot of foreign governments trying to ship oxygen cylinders, oxygen plants, all of that. And the concentrators which have been manufactured, and now the concentrators are being manufactured in India and abroad. So that is another area. The fourth important part also is to start manufacturing oxygen in the hospitals and ramp up the oxygen, start new oxygen development, production, and even industries which were kind of earlier doing the ramping up. So all across there is a significant activity. Remember, okay, one is to act to this situation, and now we know that these kind of situations can come, right?
Yeah.
Until the complete vaccination is over and we are all stable, and maybe next 1 or 2 years these situations can come. So I think we are working on both the aspects. One is to react to this situation, and at this point in time, we can say anything we do is lead time is 3 to 4 weeks. So, but however, we cannot lose our sight on next 12 months or next 24 months. So we are working on generating, installing oxygen plants in government hospitals, under hospitals which support charitable hospitals which support underprivileged people. So we are working on setting up plants there. We are working on getting oxygen concentrators from in India, and also from abroad to support the hospitals, right? So basically, we are working on both of these aspects right now.
Gotcha. Nilima, what are we doing from a US perspective for both of these items? I know that I've been involved in the other aspects of it, but I know that you've been trying to do some fundraisers and things like that, right?
Yeah, thank you. So we have 20 chapters across USA, and we have a ton of youth volunteers, which are middle schoolers and high schoolers, and a lot of dedicated adult volunteers. And they've all stepped into action, and they're all creating fundraisers. And we have some national fundraisers. We created one for oxygen, and we created one for the PPE, food and nutrition kits, which are the emergency food supplies, as well as COVID protection kits. And of course, other hospital requirements, since ACOM has been receiving the requirements from hospitals for PPE, gloves, N95 masks, all kinds of things that we kind of take for granted here. And those have been requested by hospitals all across India, from major hospitals to small hospitals to district hospitals or primary health centers in villages. So we have a list of those to be fulfilled. And we have a lot of donors coming forward in terms of individuals, even with any small donations, saying, I would like to support this need or this particular hospital requirements, and some other organizations we're partnering with. Now, any donation is will go a long way, given that, each dollar will go like 75 rupees in India, and it's almost like $25 will provide 1 month's rations for one family of 4. And so there's no small amount, but of course the need of oxygen is so immense. We just realized that there are about 250 oxygen concentrators that were requested from ACOM by the different hospitals in India across multiple states. And each of them is cost about $950. So we just now have a GoFundMe campaign for about 100,000. And that is the most immediate need that we need to do, because without that, we cannot survive this immediate crisis, at least. Yeah. And the sustainability, long-term sustainability is something that ACOM is known for. And all our chapters have adopted one district in India, and they work with that district, and they like to provide sustainable options, whether it's livelihood, providing options to people in this COVID time, whether they can stitch masks and sell them. We train them and give them certain opportunities even to the local farmers in order to make these food kits so their produce doesn't go wasted in the absence of market opportunities. So those are the kind of things the India team is doing on the ground, and our chapters and youth ambassadors have embraced that idea, and they want to participate in that. So they have been sharing it. So the more important thing is really sharing and spreading the word about the kind of work that we're doing and connecting your family and friends so they can also contribute in one way or the other. We do have a lot of other events, and depending on the talents of the chapter or the strengths of the chapter, New Jersey is doing a 5K run, and Charlotte is doing a Mother's Day brunch. ACOM Baton Rouge is doing a Kendra Scott fundraiser, where you go to a restaurant or jewelry store and you get portion of the proceeds, and all our volunteers are sharing it with across schools and to increase the awareness. I have reached out to a lot of local communities because some of my friends and coworkers have been asking me how they can help, because everyone is seeing this on TV.
Yep.
And they just wanted to know, how can I give it to a proper organization, like you said? And since they know me personally and they know that I'm involved with ACOM, and I've assured them that all of us are volunteers. So most of us are full-time workers that take out time because this is our passion. So
Yep.
there is almost zero admin cost. There is no cost to any of us. And so that helps for them when they know that 100% of their donation is going straight to the project,
Mhm.
to the person that needs it most. And
Right.
that's what is helping. I've reached out to the local media to get the word out. So all of these are things that anyone can do to help us connect with more people that can work with ACOM USA.
Gotcha. Great explanation, Neelima. I have to go back to the very beginning, though. You said that you're getting requirements from various hospitals. What do you mean you're getting requirements from various hospitals?
So the needs at this time, because of obviously all the healthcare systems have been overburdened and overstretched. So if the doctors are scared to go see the patients without the proper PPE, they need a mask, they need a face shield, but
Right.
some of them are not available immediately. And most of it is because of lack of funds. The
Mhm.
hospital is not prepared to buy this of the
Mhm.
PPE ahead of time too.
Mhm.
So if we support them with funds, then they're able to get some of that equipment. And others, we have to help them, like oxygen concentrators, to get it from different places too. And these requirements are like from AIMS Delhi, which is
Mhm.
the major institution,
Yeah.
the premier institution in India, and
Mhm.
they need at least 100 oxygen concentrators. And Mumbai, of course, because of the population, they have submitted like $700,000 worth of different types of requirements of ventilators, PPE masks, oxygen connectors, medications, and basic supplies, even because they're running out of them. Without that, they cannot
Where,
treat these patients.
so where are you getting it from? I mean, how are you sourcing all of these things? Where are you getting the funds from?
So these are individual donors most of the time. Until now, we've been reaching out to each and every one of the donors that have been working with ACOM in the past. And
Mhm.
each of our volunteers goes out and reaches to their community in such a
Mhm.
passionate manner that it's making ripples. Hopefully, that's what we are getting them. And we've tried to partner, and we've partnered with a couple of organizations, both here and in India too. Some of
Mhm.
the corporate sponsors are coming forward.
Mhm.
Ours was predominantly individual based, but we just partnered with the Dhwani Foundation and Gandhi Medical College Global Alumni Association. And
Mhm.
they were each taken up 1 to 3 hospitals. They said we will support these requirements. But
Wow.
that is out of a list of 50 hospitals that are still waiting to be supported.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Actually,
So, yeah.
just to add to Nilima's, one of the major requirements right now is to kind of expand the hospitals.
Mhm.
So we are working with most of the hospitals to expand because they are running out of resources, and whereas the corporate sponsors are ready to kind of help that expansion. So right now we just completed, three hospital projects, 50 beds each,
Mhm.
one in Pune, one in Hyderabad, and one in Bangalore. So we
Mhm.
are kind of trying to work in different parts of the, in India to expand hospital infrastructure as
Gotcha.
well.
Do you work with any global organizations at all? Or is it
Yes, one of the major factors on all these large projects, we work with UNICEF, Cognizant Foundation, Bosch, TVS, a lot of these organizations who kind of donate for these causes, and
Mhm.
also we work with the funding agencies like Give India, United, all of these.
Gotcha. So what's the difference? So you mentioned Give India. So what's the difference between giving to like a Give India versus giving to ACOM?
Maybe Nilima?
Yeah, and so I mean, it gives us a lot of credibility too when ACOM USA says we work with ACOM Foundation, with the history that they've had and the recognition they've had with the work that was done. And when we show the work that has been done, so we know that, you know, working with UNICEF, UNICEF comes to ACOM and says, let's partner and do this project, shows
Mhm.
us that it's real work being done. And all the partners that receive funds from, like Give India receives from Google, let's say,
Mhm.
and they actually look for partners like ACOM to work, do their work. Even the government hospitals, even the government agencies and private companies that want to reach, whether it's food supplies or anything they want to give to the remotest villages, they know that ACOM staff is there and they know they can reach there, and they actually work with ACOM in doing their project through ACOM. So
You have people
secondarily,
on the ground in all of these places.
yes, and that's
Yes.
what helps us to be able to do things quickly and in a more effective manner because we actually train health mentors in the villages. We've done this for years, so this is not something we have to do right now. So when we reach out to them, and we built digital platforms over the last year, luckily, when we had a little break in COVID, because our goal is to reach out to the high-risk pregnant mothers who may not be able to come to the clinic. But if we send a digital message and a YouTube video explaining how to take care of their health and to the baby's health, and provide them with these COVID protection kits and masks, that is having the maximum impact with the minimum money. That's like a cost-effective strategy. So our past experience is helping us in doing these initiatives, even in this COVID setting.
Gotcha. Great. Anything else that you want to say to folks here? Again, people want to help. They're trying to. Everybody's feeling a little helpless, right? And one of the ways they know is by opening up their wallets and giving. And is there anything that you want to tell people here at all?
Definitely. I mean, both of us, I would say, pray for us, pray for everybody, pray for the world, because we need to contain this virus, and that will really help. And spreading the word about it and becoming involved and taking action, do your part, whatever it is. And we have ways and channels that you can help with. So just connecting is the best thing to do.
Kiran, anything?
Yes, I think as Nilima said, one is the prayer and empathizing with the situation. And also volunteering for these efforts, connecting people, connecting information, all of that. So that is a very important aspect. In Ekam, we have focused heavily into communities, because we think that people themselves can solve their problems. Only we need to enable them. So that is one of the main reasons that we are kind of engaged with communities, and we kind of facilitate them, we guide them, and then they kind of manage things on their own. So community volunteering is another important part. So we could have volunteers in India as well to work with these communities, to guide them, to kind of facilitate them. And most of the work is done that way.
Cool. Hey, thank you so much, Kiran and Nilima. I think, again, as I was mentioning earlier, these are common questions that we keep hearing quite a bit. So wanted to talk to you to, see what the answers are. And hopefully this is something that is going to help people understand exactly how a real world organization works in India, the kind of problems that it is facing, and what we can do as a community to help. So thank you so much.
Thank you for giving us this platform so we can explain ourselves better. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.